Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Keep the charts clean. We'll start the screening in 2 minutes. Good morning, Bharat. Good morning, Ranjit. Good morning, Nilesh. Good morning. BTC S1 B1 शॉर्ट किया है अभी. मतलब यहाँ पे शॉर्ट किए हो. अगर वहां पे किए हो सुपर. अगर यहाँ पे भी किए हो तो गुड. रिस्क टू रिवॉर्ड में बैठ रहा है क्या चेक करो. हमेशा लेने से पहले चेक कर लेना. यस, रिस्क टू रिवॉर्ड में बैठ रहा है. गुड एग्जीक्यूशन. यहाँ पे भी रिस्क टू रिवॉर्ड में बैठ रहा है. गुड एग्जीक्यूशन. कीप इट अप. ओके. नीलेश को प्रॉमिस किया था कि स्क्रीनिंग हम निफ्टी से करेंगे. सो व्हाट डू वी नोटिस ओवर हियर नीलेश. राइट. हमने जो इवनिंग सेशन मींस कल मॉर्निंग सेशन में ड्रॉ किया था, क्या वो बॉक्स के बाहर निकला है? नहीं. व्हाट इज द प्रेशर इंडिकेशन दैट वी आर हैविंग इन द पीओआई रेंज? डेफिनेटली इस पॉइंट ऑफ एक्शन में सपोर्ट काम कर रहा था. बट मेजरली व्हाट डू वी नोटिस? selling pressure, selling pressure, selling pressure, selling pressure, selling pressure. राइट. वन स्मॉल बाइंग प्रेशर जहां पे ट्रैप हुआ. कल के दिन मॉर्निंग में गैप डाउन ओपन हुई थी. गैप डाउन ओपन होने के बाद मार्केट टेंड टू गिव ए मूव टुवर्ड्स द लॉन्ग. सबको यहाँ पे बिठाया लॉन्ग के तरफ. बिठाने के बाद मार्केट ने क्या किया? मार्केट स्टार्टेड क्रिएटिंग ए प्रेशर एनालिसिस. राइट. इस पॉइंट ऑफ एक्शन तक एवरीथिंग वाज गुड. ओके. पोस्ट दैट व्हाट डिड मार्केट टेंड टू डू? अगर अगर नोटिस कर रहे हो यहाँ पे हर एक पॉइंट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट में सेलिंग ऑर्डर्स प्लेस्ड है. राइट. व्हेन द सेलिंग ऑर्डर्स इज प्लेस्ड द बायर्स विल बी इंटरेस्टेड टू लुक एट दिस करंट सिनेरियो. नो. व्हेन विल द बायर्स विल बी इंटरेस्टेड इन लुकिंग टुवर्ड्स द ट्रेड? व्हेन देयर इज अ प्रॉपर हंट इन द एग्जीक्यूशन. जैसे ही वो हंट एग्जीक्यूट होता है देन यू कैन सी द मूवमेंट कंटिन्यूटी. नॉट प्रायर टू दैट. उसके लिए हमें एक प्रॉपर बाइंग प्रेशर दिखना चाहिए at each and every point of action. Buying pressures in allocations of at least 30 minutes का buying pressure चाहिए हमें. That's when you will see the exact movement, not prior to that. Okay. बैंक निफ्टी में भी ग्रेट. जितने भी लोग लिए थे डेफिनेटली इंट्राडे में ग्रीन में ही क्लोज हुआ है. बट स्विंग में अभी भी शॉर्ट का ही ट्रेड है क्योंकि प्रेशर अगर नोटिस कर रहे हो इट्स टुवर्ड्स द शॉर्ट. डेफिनेटली पीओआई रेंज में दोनों के तरफ से बिल्ड आउट हुई थी. दैट्स नॉट एन इशू फॉर अस. विद दिस पॉइंट व्हाट आर द नेक्स्ट थिंग दैट विल बी लुकिंग फॉर? आज का दिन का ओपनिंग. अगर आज का 15 मिनट्स कैंडल इनडिसिसिव ओपन होता है तो फर्स्ट हाफ आपको पीओआई रेंज में ही दिखेगा. S1 setups. In this case, what should be our POA point of action? How to look at the box break? So S1 setups को follow करो POA range में. POI रेंज में जैसे ही ब्रेक आती है S1 सेटअप के हिसाब से ट्रेड ऑफ एग्जीक्यूशन देखने वाले. ठीक है. सर बयास का सर बयास का क्या मतलब है? वो कैसे फाइंड करें? कुछ नहीं. जिस तरफ का प्रेशर इंडिकेट होता है उस तरफ का मूवमेंट अलोकेट होती है मार्केट्स में. In this scenario, point of action 1 selling pressure, point of action 2 selling pressure, point of action 3 selling pressure, point of action 4 selling pressure. Right. So at this point of interest, what will market tend to do? Market will tend to hunt out all the circulating supply people. Okay. So let's start with gold. In 2 minutes. Keep the charts clean, guys. Starting with the same analytical point, this is my demand. With the demand, market created the inducement. With the inducement, market tend to break and followed a proper price of action. With the proper price of action, this is my retracement point. With the retracement point, I will be looking for the demand. With this demand action plan, what did market tend to do? Market tend to break and continue. उस हिसाब से I'll allocate the next. With the allocation, I will look for 150%. With the 150%, market created a break of buying pressure. With the buying pressure, I look for the supply. With the supply, what will be my demand range of allocation? जितना मेरा previous point of interest है supply का, that will act as my current. With that, what will be the next plan? The supply will act as my next post the retracement. We see a break and continuity, so we will be doubling it and looking for 150%. जैसे ही 150% closure allocate हुआ, what are the next steps that I'll be looking for? I'll be looking for the entire supply. With the supply, the previous demand will act as my current. With the current act of demand, what did market tend to do? Market tend to break and continue. With the break and continue, what do we see at the current stage of action? Market is taking rejection from the exact point of action. With this, what are the next steps that I'll be following? The next steps I'll be following is 4 hours rule of allocation, जो कि हमारा mathematical precisions के through allocate करेंगे. With the 4 hours, what do we notice? We notice a movement exactly in a buy through action plan. With a buy through action plan, this will act as my first. This will act as my first supply. With the first supply, we have a retracement. Retracement will be taken under the consideration of the previous with the previous continuity. Right, with the continuity plan of actions, what are the next steps that we'll be following over here? Reallocation of the point. With the reallocation of the point, continuity of the structure and the break. So we'll look for the next. With the next point of interest, do we have 100% rejection? Yes, we do have 100% rejection plus 200% rejection. So what are the next steps that we'll be looking at? We'll be looking for intermediate allocations of the previous. So in this scenario, the market tend to take a rejection with a retracement at this point. So what are the action plans? The action plan will be as per the previous to the current. So with the current action plan, what are the next steps that I'll be looking? I'll be looking for a reallocation spectrum from this point of this, from the previous retracement point to the current, with the current retracement point continuity. With the continuity, what are the market's major things that you have to be looking and following through? As we have a minimality zone created, what are the steps? 150% as an action plan. With the 150% action plan, what did we notice? We have a rejection over here, which is being considered at 150% range. With the 150% range, what are the major scenarios that I'll be looking at the next? The major scenarios that I'll be looking at the next will be the demand allocation. The demand allocation will be in the spectrum of to the previous. In this scenario, this will act as my first point of interest. So first point of interest will be taken under the consideration to the previous with the previous action plan allocation. So this will be my first point of interest. With the first point of interest, market gave a break, so 200% rejection. So with the 200% rejections, what are the next steps that will be following at the current state of actions? We will be looking for a supply allocation point which will be taken under the consideration of to the previous. With the previous action plan, what did market tend to create? Market tend to create a breakthrough of structure. Do we have a wick creation or a break of structure? No. So when there is no break of structure, lookout will be from the body. From the body allocation, देखोगे exactly we have a rejection. With the rejection, what will be the next plan of action at the current state? The movement of allocation will be taken under the consideration of to the first. Right, first plan of action allocation will be taken under the consideration of this point of interest. This is with the wick. आप लोग body के साथ लगाना because still we don't have a break of structure analysis. With this, what are the next steps that I'll be looking at the current state of actions? I'll be looking for a map. So what are the scenarios that we'll be finding out at the current stage? Swing high, swing low, and retracement point. With this, let's do the math and check what are the numbers that we are getting at the current state of actions. My bad, guys. My bad. Sorry. This is for the long. ये target hit हो चुके हैं, so I'm not taking that. So 3168.44, the swing low will act as at the current scenario, which will be at 3054.63366. What is the formulative number? 114.074. What is the retracement value that I'm having? 3135.54. Direction is bearish, minus 114.074 into 1.618. What is the targets that we are having at the current state? The targets we are having is of golden ratio 2950. Okay, this is for swing trading. What are the next steps that we'll be looking in the action plan? We'll be looking for 1 hour. In 1 hour, what are the major circumstances that market has followed and continued? The market has followed the circumstances of to the previous. So what are the mathematical numbers that will be working at the current stage? The swing high will be this, the swing low will act as this, and the retracement point will act as this. Let's do the math and check for the next plan of action. With the next plan of actions, what are the next steps that I'll be looking at the current stage? 3168.307. The swing low will act as 3116.883. What is the formulative number? 51.424. With that, what is the retracement that I'm having? 3132.351. Direction is bearish, minus 51.424 into 1.618. What is the target that I'm having at the current state? The current target of golden ratio is of 3049.147. So this will be my plan of action that we'll be taking under the consideration of the current. With that, the next plan of indications will be of the intermediate ratio, which will be 3029. Okay, so these are the two levels that we'll be looking at the current state of actions. What are the next steps that I'll be following? The next steps I'll be looking for is allocation of the demand. With the demand plan of action, this is my first. With the first, market tend to break and continue. With that, I'll look for the next. With the next, this is the action plan. With the action plan, reallocation. With the reallocation, 150% break. With the 150% break, market tend to move in the direction. So what are the next steps that I'll be following at the current state of actions? The current state of actions will be taken care with the precisions of the previous movement action plan. With the previous movement action plan, what are the steps that I'll be looking at this stage of action? This is my supply. Do we have a break of structure? Yes, we do have a break of structure. So from the wick to the body, so what will be the allocation that we'll be looking at? Point of action number one, with the point of action number one, the next. Is it a right one or a wrong one, guys? Good morning, Anirudh. ये सही है या गलत? जो ये मार्किंग हुई है उसके बारे में पूछ रहा हूँ. It's wrong because we don't have a break of structure to allot it with wick. Good one. All right. So what we'll be doing, we'll be looking for the body allocation point. With the body allocation point, market took the rejection from the 100%. With the 100%, what are the plan of actions that will be taken under the considerations at the current stage? At the current stage, we will be looking for two plan of executions which will be taken in perspective of to the previous. How we look, how we will be looking at the scenarios of the current range of action. Where is the POI range? Mark out the POI range. With the POI range, what are the structures that I'll be following? The movement of exact action plan will be taken under the consideration. With that, the marking will be looked at the perspectives. So with the perspectives, what are the next steps that I'll be looking for? The next steps I'll be looking for is in the allocation of to the inducement range of action. With the inducement range of action, retracement कितना होगा? जितना मेरा previous supply है उतने का ही movement. With the movement, market tend to give a break. With the break, continuity. Right. So what are the next steps that I'll be allocating over here? The entire movement of with the wick collection because there is a break of structure. So allocating the entire movement action to the next. Right, with this plan of action, where does the market currently taking the rejection from? From the point of interest of our current, right? So what are the next steps that I'll be following over here? We'll be looking for 15 minutes. In 15 minutes, what are the step of actions that we'll be reallocating? We'll be looking for a point of interest of to the previous. With the previous allocation, the retracement will act as the same point of this one or the same point of this one, because the structure has changed. The structure, when the structure changes, what does the market tend to do? Market tend to act as my supply converted into demand. With the supply converted into demand, what are the steps that market will tend to follow? The market will tend to follow a price of action which will be taken under the consideration of the previous. So both the action plan is concluded in the same moment. So what are the next steps that we'll be looking for? The movement action of 15 minutes will be taken under the consideration. In this scenario, the movement will be taken from the top because we do have a break. With the break till the body. With the body allocation, the movement will be analyzed and allocated. Post the allocation point of interest, what are the major things that I'll be looking for? The major thing I'll be looking here is for the plan of action for the next, which will be taken under the consideration of inducement range. With the inducement range, the next plan will be executed through the setup of the next of this plan, which will be taken with 200%, 150% rejection and continuity, or 200% continuity with the rejection. Right? What is the setup that we are having at this current state? एक सेकंड ना. S2B1, great, good job. Even you are right, Nilesh. Good job. नहीं नहीं. Here we can't consider it as a wing because there is no plan of action as the previous. Okay. Any doubts in gold, guys? No, let's move to BTC. किसी को भी कोई भी डाउट है, प्लीज डू आस्क. एक सेकेंड. नहीं, अरुंधति मैम, वेट करो, वेट करो. और आएगा नीचे वो. वेट वेट. ऐड ऑन अभी मत देखना. यहाँ पे ट्रैप करने दो पहला. ओके. So doing with BTC. What are the next steps that we'll be following in BTC? We will be looking for an action plan after the previous. This is my POI range. With the POI range, we'll identify the inducement zone of action. With the inducement zone action, we'll look for an allocation of the POI. With the POI, the movement will be in the plan till the buying pressure allocation. In this scenario, this is acting as my current. With the current, we have a buying pressure allotted. With the buying pressure allotted, what do we see? We see a rejection. With the rejection perspective, what did the market tend to do? Market tend to create a buying pressure. With the buying pressure, market has played an action of internal liquidity zone. With the internal liquidity zone, what are the next steps that I'll be allocating? I'll be allocating the demand. With the demand action plan, what are the next steps? This will be taken under the consideration with S2B1 because there is no break of structure. When there is no break of structure, the next plan of execution will be taken under the next plan will be taken under the consideration after the previous. The body closing is in the zone of the demand range. With that, we will be allocating the price of action of the mathematical number, which is at the current point 76. With this, we will look for the supply point of interest. With the supply point of interest, this will act as my one. With this, what are the next steps that I'll be looking? My previous supply will act as my current demand. With the current demand, market tend to break and continue. With the break and continuity, what are the next steps that I'll be looking? I'll be looking for a reallocation perspectives with the plan of action of the next. With the next action plan, what do we see? We see a rejection. With the rejection, what did market tend to create? Market tend to create a break of action plan. When there is a break of action plan, what do we look? We look for a reallocation of the next point. When we look for a reallocation of next point, what are the steps that we'll be following? The previous demand will act as my current. In this scenario, this was my action plan number one, which will be allocated. With that, there is a break and continuity. With the break and continuity, next structure will be placed in the plan of action after the previous. With that, what do we notice? We have a rejection of 150%. Right, with the 150% rejections, what are the next steps that I'll be looking at? I'll be looking at the mathematical numbers in 4 hours. How do you analyze and draw through the next? We will be looking for a point of interest to the 4 hours and allocate the mathematical numbers. With the allocation of the previous point of interest, what are the major things that I'll be looking at the current stage? The major things that I'll be following through the previous action plans will be reallocation of the segregation points as plan of action 1. The plan of action 1 remains of this point of action. With that, the market tend to continue the movement action plan 1, 2. This will be looking for the next plan of indications with applying the supply. With the supply rejection was taken under the considerations. What are the steps that will be following? Supply converted into demand. In this scenario, this was the supply. What we will be looking at the current action plan. With this current action plan, what are the next steps? Reallocation of the demand zone. With the reallocation of the demand zone, point of interest, continuity, breakthrough. What do we see? We see a 200% rejection. With this, what are the next steps that we'll be following? This is the point of interest 1 with the interest plan of scenario 2. This will act as my current retracement, which will be marking out with the same plan of action, with the same plan of action continuity. When there is a continuity, what do we see at this current state of actions? The first movement plan of action was given at the break and continuation. Wick range was taken under the consideration of 150% breakthrough with the 150% breakthrough continuity. So in this scenario, what are the mathematical numbers that I'll be following at the state of actions? The swing high will be of this point, the swing low will be of this point, and the retracement remains at the same. Let's do the math and check what are the numbers that we are getting at long positions. So in this scenario, we are having 8282250.97 minus 76667.8. What is the number that we are getting? 5583.17. With that, what is the retracement point? 79085. With that, direction is bullish plus 5583.17 into 1.618. Target hit ho chuki hai. Intermediate ratio with 2, which will be looking for an allocation of the next in the action plan that will be taken under the consideration of 90 to 51.34. So once the allocation of intermediate ratio is done, what are the next steps that will be following? Will come down to 1 hour for the reallocation points. When we come down to the reallocation points, what are the major things that needs to be taken under the consideration? The considerative point of action will be acting through the current state of mind. With the current state of mind, the swing low will be at the point of interest of this. The swing high will act as this and retracement will act as this. Right? With this point, what are the next steps that we'll be looking? We have to just clarify whether we are having a rejection from the same perspective point. So here at the current state of action, my swing high is currently at 83,979.68 minus what is the swing low? 81,286.13. What is the formulative number? 2693.55. What is the retracement point that we are having? The retracement point is 82,280.93. With that, direction is bullish. 82280.93 plus 2693.55 into 1.618. What is the first target that we are having? The first target we are having is 86,639. Is that the right one? 86,639.09 will act as my first. With the first point of interest, market tend to break and continue. With the break and continue, what are the next steps that we are looking? Intermediate ratio at the current state of actions will be taken consideration of 87668.03. Right, with this, what are the next steps that we'll be looking at the current state of actions? We'll be looking for an allocation to the previous point of interest. With the previous point of interest, let's come down to 15 minutes. In 15 minutes, what are the major circumstances that will be following at the current stage? The major circumstances will be taken under the consideration to the previous point of interest. How do you look into the circumstances? The circumstances will be taken under the consideration of previous demand with the wick because there is a break of structure. Rejection, whatever my previous demand is in the action, that will act as my current supply. With the current supply point of interest, what are the major things that I'll be looking over here? I'll be looking for a continuity. With the continuity break of structure plan, what are the steps that I'll be allocating? The previous demand will act as my current. With the previous demand acting as my current, we have a minimality zone in 15 minutes. With the minimality zone in 15 minutes, what are the next step? We'll be looking for 150% rejection. Right? Do we have a 150% rejection at the current state? Yes, we do have a 150% rejection at the current state. With this, what are the major things that we'll be following through? We'll be looking for an allocation of the supply. We are taking it from the wick because we have a break of structure. With the break of structure, there is a rejection. Rejection will be taking place in perspective of my previous supply. The previous supply will act as my current. With the current plan of actions, what do we notice? We have a break and continue. So 150% will be the marking range at the state of actions. With that, market tend to break and continue the level. So what are the next steps that I'll be marking? I'll be marking the entire scenario of the previous action point. The previous action point at the current stages of this, which will be acting as my supply. With that, there is a minimality which has been created. With the minimality action plan, 150% will be the rejection action point. Right, at this scenario, do we have a 150% rejection? Yes, we do. Right, with the 150% rejections, what are the next step I'll be following? This is the inducement range of action. This will act as my one. With that, we have a small retracement which has been created. Retracement will be the last demand will act as my current. With the current plan of action, this will be my demand which will be acting as my supply. With that continuity, in the continuity first place, I will be taking the previous which will be dragged and dropped. With that, we will be looking for the next, because we have a break of structure. We'll be taking it with the wick and reallocating it. Okay, any doubts? And Nilesh, in Nifty, any doubts you're having with the selling pressure? What did market tend to create over here? Breakthrough and continuity. Okay. So today, which setup formed in BTC? S2B1. कोई बात नहीं है, एक ऊपर एक नीचे आ रहा है ना, ये इधर तक आएगा, टेंशन मतलब। कल का इंट्राडे का लेवल है, इस पॉइंट ऑफ एक्शन से रिजेक्शन लेगी। हाउ, दिस इज योर स्विंग लो। कल के दिन अगर मॉर्निंग में जाके देखोगे तो दिस विल बी योर स्विंग लो, दिस विल बी योर स्विंग हाई एंड दिस विल बी योर रिट्रेसमेंट पॉइंट बोला था, करेक्ट? सो उसका टारगेट हिट करने के लिए जा रहा है वो। नेक्स्ट कैंडल में देखेंगे मैम, अगर ये कैंडल क्लोज होता है अच्छा खासा मूवमेंट एक्शन प्लान के साथ, नेक्स्ट कैंडल फिर से विक क्रिएट करके नीचे के लिए आती है, then we'll look for another add-on which will be our fifth add-on quantity. Okay. साइडवेज जोन है, हर एक सपोर्ट में लॉन्ग करेंगे, हर एक रेजिस्टेंस में शॉर्ट करेंगे करके जाओगे, आपका अकाउंट उड़ाते जाएगा मार्केट। ठीक है। सर एक रिक्वेस्ट है बीओएस के बारे में डिटेल्स बताना प्लीज डेफिनेटली बताऊंगा मॉर्निंग स्ट्रीम क्लोज होने से पहले आई विल लेट यू नो हाउ डज इट टेकन अंडर द कंसिडरेशन विद द प्रीवियस एंड लुक in the way of the allocations. Okay. And all the old members start with the back testing, with the back testing, forward testing, with the forward testing, live relay bar testing, with the live relay bar testing, live market analysis, then small capital execution for building confidence. With that, the next plan will be of coming with the value what you want to trade with that following a proper risk to reward and execution. And all the new members, welcome to the stream. जो भी doubts है, please do ask. Good morning, Yogesh. Yesterday in Nifty and Bank Nifty we marked bullish MC2 targets, but today Bank Nifty moving towards the target, but not Nifty. Even when there was selling pressure in both the cases, how to look at that? बैंक निफ्टी में सेलिंग प्रेशर नहीं था. Let me showcase you. Wait. Where did we had a selling pressure in Bank Nifty? We didn't had a selling pressure in Bank Nifty. We had a selling pressure in Nifty, right? So the allocation was taken under the consideration of to the one. Even this will not be sustaining for a very long period of time. Don't worry. It will follow the swing trade only. वो इंट्राडे के लिए दिया था, correct? It was not given for swing. हमारा swing का lookout is very much clear. The target is 22,885. Bank Nifty now retracement. The length is POI range are same or not? No. सर क्रिप्टो हाइप बुक के बारे में थोड़ा एक्सप्लेन करना. क्या एक्सप्लेनेशन चाहिए? भरत, what explanation do you need? डिसेंट्रलाइज एक्सचेंज के बारे में, ऑल्ट कॉइन्स के बारे में, मेजर लिक्विडिटी कॉइन्स के बारे में. विद द लिक्विडिटी कॉइन्स, what is the risk to reward that you need to be following? Okay. Halt के बारे में भी explained है in detail. BTC 700 पॉइंट्स के साथ रनिंग में है. MTSL रख लेना 400 पॉइंट्स में. गुड मॉर्निंग अंबिका. यू आर लेट टुडे. ये फ्राइडे आ जाता है तो आप लोगों को क्या होता है? हाँ. The craziest part is about Agastya. सुबह सुबह क्या कर रहा है बंदा? एंड वो बंदा कैमरा भी ऑफ नहीं किया। अरुंधति मैम, एक बार अगस्त्य को कॉल करके बता दो। Only one trade today, sir. Still not able to digest yesterday's movements. Thank you so much. लॉन्ग का ट्रेड कितने में क्लोज किया था? As per the video only, sir. After the full recovery information. 3130. Morning trade entered at 3112, closed at 3087. अगर वरुण तूने वो जो फर्स्ट मैसेज डाला है ना, अगर तूने वो फॉलो कर लिया, ओनली वन ट्रेड टुडे, तू जो पूछेगा मैं वो तेरे को दिलाऊंगा, जो भी। जितने भी लोग लॉन्ग के तरफ का ट्रेड लिया है उनका भी 100 पिप्स क्लोजर हुआ है एग्जैक्टली 150% रिजेक्शन के साथ। एंड अभी मत बोलना कि लेवल्स पहले ही मार्क नहीं थे। जब ये कैंडल बन रहा था तभी मार्किंग में था, जब आप लोग पूछ रहे थे। भरत ने S2 B1 सेटअप बोला था, नीलेश ने S2 B2 सेटअप बोला था। नितेश वो कर देगा मैम, 1 साल से देख रहा हूँ। उसको रात में नींद नहीं आएगी, एटलीस्ट 4-5 ट्रेड लेने से देना। क्या बात कर रहे हो? Beautiful guys, 100 more points for the target Nifty. Sir, in gold now this is long or short? मतलब Venkat, what are you saying? Please, can you repeat it again? स्मिता मैम, 39 का प्रीमियम रनिंग एट 187। Beautiful, sir. Minus from 41. Gold is for long side or the short side? Bhai Venkat, what do you see? This was a S1 setup, right? With the S1 setup execution. If you wanted to look in S2 setup also, mother candle, inside candle, first candle, second candle confirmation, you could have entered over here. What was the risk to reward that you had? The risk to reward you had of 4 points, right? With 4 points execution, you could have stayed in the long side. Why did you exit? 200% still there, no? 3104. चुप हो जा वरुण अभी हो गया वो चलने दो टारगेट तक और अच्छा स्पेक आएगा गुड मॉर्निंग सुमंत Good morning, Jimmy. Sorry, Jasram. Jasam. एक बात बताओ, बताओ ना, मना कौन किया? Jasam. Yeah, got it. सच में आप जादूगर हो। नॉन एक्सपायरी के दिन में भी आपने 5 गुना का रिटर्न दिलवाया है हमें। थैंक यू सो मच। माना की ट्रेड 28 से होल्डर, but thank you for teaching us calmness and patience to execute the trade till the targets of mathematical numbers. Thank you so much once again. मैंने कुछ नहीं किया यार, यहाँ पे सब आप लोगों ने किया है। TP1 हिट लॉन्ग ट्रेड का। Sir, for new traders, which one will you recommend to trade Nifty or Bank Nifty? Nifty. बैंक निफ्टी में तब ट्रेड करो जब इंडिकेशन सही दे रहा, बट सीखने के लिए निफ्टी। ओके। स्मिता मैम, अरुंधति मैम, फैजल, MTSL at 120. हर्षित, MTSL at 80. Srinivas sir, MTSL at 60. Raghunath, MTSL at 350. सबको बोल दिया, अगस्त्य कोई नहीं, उसको बोलने की जरूरत ही नहीं है। 'I didn't attend full session today. It seems RB has written about Nifty option trades. If yes, please tell which strike. 23,000, 23,000, 23,100, 23,200, and 22,900. First exit of the month will be always in the second expiry, which will be April 9th. Nifty. All the new members, welcome to the stream. Joe be doubts, please do ask. Bharat, MTSL trailing given an ethu. Okay. System trailing मध्ये 400 पॉइंट रख. Tomorrow there is no market, no. If you wanted to ask about yesterday, yes, definitely you can ask about yesterday. Yes, definitely you can ask. मेरे को पता है क्या आप पूछोगे. First execution point was taken under the consideration of this point, which was in the consideration of S2B1 setup. With the S2B1 setup, market created the inducement. With the inducement, we have executed the add-on quantity over here with S1B2 setup. With S2B2 setup, there was third add-on which was taken under the procedures of S2B1, third candle execution with this. So we will be marking it of S2B1 setup. Suppose this market gave a first target hit of 100%. With the first target hit of 100%, we had got a next execution again with the perspective of S2B1. With that point of interest, we had again entered with the same precisions of S2B1. With the S2B1, the fifth add-on was in the particular moment of this inducement range. Same scenario, inducement, break, retrace, continue, S1B1 setup, continuity. Post that there were no add-ons in the action plan. Yes, there was one last add-on which was taken under the position of this, which is S2B1 setup. With this all setup, market tend to give the market movements of yesterday's target was 3055. With 3055, we had executed a long trade. पहली बार मैंने बोला था stream पे for the first time. Right, the execution was taken place from 3064, 3065, 3063. Right, from this entire plan of action was considered till the recovery point. So recovery point of action में अगर notice करना चाहोगे, यहाँ पे only one point of action was created, that was wing. With the wing action price, we executed the long trade. With the long trade execution, entire movement closure of yesterday was of 2780 pips all put together. I'm not taking under the considerations of add-ons. Okay. One top movement, one long movement, only two. Add-ons we never take in the consideration of the moment. Hope that was your question. If that's not, please do let me know what it is. You answered without the question. You really got it, sir, before I asked. Good morning, Anjali. Sir, at 1:30 p.m. Indian time, it's not S1B3 setup. 1:30 Indian time. 1:30 p.m. ना मतलब यहाँ पे 1:30. How S1B3? For S1B3, you need to have a trap, correct? So inducement, three partners, break, or the break towards the short, right? For the short break, how do we look into the circumstances of S1B3? There should be a break over here. With the break inside candle closure, a liquidity hunt and continuity. At 1:30 semi, where are we having a trap? We don't have a trap. We have a S1B1 setup. One, two, third. Okay. Add-on execution will be taken into the consideration of this red candle. फाइनेंशियल फ्रीडम मतलब लग्जरी से लाइफ जीना, किसने बोला? फाइनेंशियल फ्रीडम मतलब बैंक में इतना पैसा होना चाहिए कि उस पैसे से आप लाइफ टाइम काम ना कर पाओ. दैट इज फाइनेंशियल फ्रीडम. जस्ट फॉर एन एग्जांपल, अगर आपके बैंक अकाउंट में 1 लाख है, 1 लाख रुपए में अगर आपका मंथली एक्सपेंडिचर 10,000 का है, ओके, आपके पास फाइनेंशियल फ्रीडम कितने महीने का होगा? 10 महीने का. कुछ भी मत ये करते रहो. On the break of green candle, you can look for an execution. Just saying, okay. अगर अकाउंट में 1 करोड़ है, ओके, मंथली एक्सपेंडिचर 10,000 का है, राइट. इमरजेंसी एक्सपेंडिचर कभी कभी आ जाता है, मान के चलो 1 लाख का है, ओके. योर फाइनेंशियल फ्रीडम इज फॉर 10 years. Luxury is lifestyle, right? Setting up a standard for yourself. Don't misjudge luxury with financial freedom. Luxury can be bought in EMIs also. इंडिया में जितने भी आईफोन लोग यूज करते हैं ना 98% of the population use it in EMI to showcase they are having a good lifestyle. In this scenario, they are not having it. ये लोग मंथ ऑन मंथ बेसिस में जी रहे हैं. जिसको फाइनेंशियल प्लानिंग नहीं आता है भूल जाओ. How many bank accounts you should be having? If you're married, 4 bank accounts. If you're single, 3 bank accounts. One for investment, one for emergency and savings, one for expenditures. यहाँ पे 4 क्यों है? One for yourself, expenditures, sorry, investments, emergency and saving, expenses, one joint account. Joint account will be used for the growth of the kid if they are planning to have a kid. Why shouldn't we buy cars in EMI or phones in EMI? जिसको RRR करना नहीं आता है वो कार को EMI में खरीदेगा on the appreciable of the next, right? कैसे वो आइडेंटिफाई करना होता है? समझो तुमने एक कार खरीदिया, राइट? मान के चलो वो कार का वैल्यू 20 lakhs का है. उस 20 lakhs में आप 20% डाउन पेमेंट करोगे. उसके बाद 9% रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट के साथ 10 साल के लिए या 15 साल के लिए भरोगे. जैसे कि आप वो ये कार 15 साल या 20 साल चलाओगे. मैक्स टू मैक्स ये कार आप चलाओगे सिर्फ 5 साल, बट आप लोन उस कार के ऊपर भरते रहोगे 10 साल तक. वर्थ क्या है? एंड जिसे भी दिन सेल करने जाओगे क्या आपको रिटर्न मिलेगा? नहीं. आपको यहाँ पे मिलेगा 30% रिटर्न ऑन इन्वेस्टमेंट ऑन डिप्लॉयड कैपिटल. ओनली 30% ऑफ द 100%. So there are many things that you guys have to work on. Okay, sir, got it. Thank you so much, sir. For today, last question, if you allow. Definitely, यार, पूछो. You have आराम से limits. अगर there is no one is asking questions, definitely every 1 hour you can ask the question. Or every 45 minutes you can ask the question, not an issue. Target gold 150% rejection, right? 150% rejection is already taken, sir. If you notice over here, so this was my 150% and 200% completion, correct? With that next plan of action, we have taken a different allocation post the retracement point. Indian markets for MC calculation, 5 minutes or 15 minutes. Good morning, Mr. Martin, and welcome to the stream. Have you ever seen me moving it to 5 minutes? So you're saying you shouldn't buy the car. मैंने कब बोला कार मत खरीदो? जो इंसान खुद कारों के शौकीन है, वो अगर वो कार खरीदने ना बोले, वैसे कैसे हो सकता है? खरीदो. That should be from your एसेट. एसेट से जो रेवेन्यू इंक्रीज होती है ना, उसके थ्रू खरीदो, प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. अगर समझो तुम महीने का 1 लाख कमा रहे हो और तुम शौक रख रहे हो 1 करोड़ की कार की, जिंदगी भर उधारी में जियोगे. हमेशा एक चीज याद रखना, द वन एंड ओनली प्रिंसिपल ऑफ एक्सपेंडिचर इज, एक ही प्रिंसिपल को अगर आप फॉलो करोगे, यू विल नेवर बी हैविंग लोन्स ऑन यू. ओनली दिस वन स्टेप. व्हाट इज दैट वन स्टेप? Till the time you can't buy whatever you want to buy for 4 times in a go, you won't buy it for the first time. कुछ भी चीज हो, अगर आपको BMW खरीदना है 1 करोड़ की, अगर आप एक शॉट में 4 BMW खरीदने जितने पैसे आपके बैंक अकाउंट में नहीं है, तब तक आपका पहला BMW नहीं आएगा. सेम चीज एज पर योर मेंटालिटीज. अगर आपको 20 लाख की कौन सी भी गाड़ी खरीदनी हो, इनोवा, थार, जो भी है, आपके अकाउंट में 3 थार या इनोवा खरीदने जितना पैसा होना चाहिए, तब जाके एक खरीदो. द वन एंड ओनली सिंपल रूल. ओके. सेम चीज, अगर आपको फोन खरीदना है 1 लाख, 1.5 लाख, 2 लाख की, 4 फोन खरीदने की अहमियत रखो अकाउंट के अंदर, तब जाके एक फोन खरीदो, ईएमआई पे नहीं. इट अप्लाइज ऑन ईच एंड एवरीथिंग. अगर वॉच खरीदना है, एक रोलेक्स की घड़ी स्टार्टिंग प्राइस इज ऑफ 25 lakhs. आपके अकाउंट में 4 रोलेक्स घड़ी की कीमत होनी चाहिए, तब जाके आप एक खरीद सकते हो. Is this logic applied to the house? Yes. हाउस का लॉजिक अलग है. इट्स एंटायरली डिफरेंट. चलो वो भी सीक्रेट बता देता हूँ. Okay. How to build your own house which can provide you the money. There are two steps. Step 1. अगर आपका घर का कॉस्ट 10 करोड़ का है, आपका बैंक अकाउंट में 40 करोड़ होना चाहिए. 40 करोड़ that could be in investments anywhere, but वो पैसा आपके हाथ में होना चाहिए. Right? तब जाके 10 करोड़ के वैल्यूएशन के ऊपर आप गुड डेप्थ ले सकते हो. Right? When you have 40 crores in your bank account, here you can take a good depth. Right? The good depth will act in proportion of you, the bank will lend you the money of 90%. Right? With that, बिल्डिंग रेवेन्यू कैपेक्स ओपेक्स सब मिला के आपका 2 साल में कंस्ट्रक्ट हो जाएगा. So wherein the depreciation of 2 years will be there, which will be of 2 CR. Post that 10 years it should be on rent or on RRR. Refurbish mode में रहना चाहिए till the time this doesn't come into the play back into this. Right? जैसे ही proportion में आती है, then this account is risk free. जब रिस्क फ्री होता है ये अकाउंट, तब जाके इस प्रॉपर्टी के ऊपर यू कैन टेक द नेक्स्ट लोन टू बिल्ड योर सेकेंड हाउस. राइट? बैंक में ये 40 करोड़ जो है वो सेफ हो चुकी है विद द ग्रोथ ऑफ एक्शन. ओके, जो 40 करोड़ है 10 इयर्स में हो चुका रहेगा 80 करोड़ प्लस. राइट? विद द कॉर्पस अमाउंट व्हाट यू कैन डू, यू कैन लुक फॉर द सेकेंड हाउस बिल्डिंग फॉर योर पर्सनल यूज. मैंशन खरीदना है, जो भी खरीदना है खरीदो, प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. राइट? अगर वो है तो उस बजट में वहां पे आप रह सकते हो. क्यों? दिस 10 crores property will be giving you a valuation of 10 years will be somewhere around 400% hike. Right? So 80 crores plus 10 crores, 10 crores into 400%, 120 crores will be in your bank account. So this is the step 1. Right? So step 2, you have 10 crores in your account. Right? You don't have 40 crores in your account, but definitely you should have double of it. 20 crores का बैकअप होना चाहिए. With that, you can use and build one apartment. Right? Apartment structure of 10 crores के अंदर you can build across 2 BHK का 6 floors. I'm talking about luxury apartments. I'm not talking about normal apartments. Right? जैसे ही build होता है, building time frame still remains 2 years. With this, interior work will also be taken care by you. Everything will cover up in this 10 crores. Right? उसके बाद स्ट्रक्चर एनालिसिस के हिसाब से हर एक फ्लोर आप बेचो at 3 crores. Right? So recurring value के ऊपर जो आपने लोन लिया था with the interest rate of 10 crores, अगर आपके पास अकाउंट में 20 करोड़ है, बैंक मैनेजर आपको इजीली वो लोन आपको 3% में दे देगा. 3 to 3.5. अगर HDFC में कनेक्ट है, so that will come down to even 2.95. Okay? So just for an example, 6 floors, 3 crores at each. The property will be in your name, but the floors will be on the tenant's name who is planning to buy it. So post 2 years, you will be earning a nice 18 crores. Right? Take home of yours is 10+2 बिकॉज यहाँ पे लोन डायरेक्टली मार्केट को इसी से क्लियर अप होगा एंड टेक होम विल बी ऑफ 8 crores टू यू इन दैट 2% टैक्स लेके चलो जो भी है 5 crores will be your take home. Okay, Yogesh, this is for you. Is CS created in the gold today morning 2 a.m. to 7:30? Sir, circulating volume, sir. What is that? We don't have circulating volumes. We have circulating supplies, the eggshell theory. You want to know about the eggshell theory or you want to know about the volume? Sir, explain Indian market calculations. Go to the home tab. There are two videos on Indian sessions. You can look into that. One is sideways market, one is option trading. दोनों ऑप्शन ट्रेडिंग का वीडियोस देखो, you will understand the calculations, Martin. Okay? Nifty 50 V-shaped formation with 3 candle rejection. कुछ भी बोलते रहते हो. Nifty 50 V-shaped formations with 3 candle rejection. Where do we have the wicks? What is the pressure indicating? 1, 2, 3, 4. Pressure should be towards the long, no? Definitely market नीचे गिर रहा है. When the market is falling down, you will see a buying pressure in every candle. Then you will look into the V-shaped recovery with wing. Let me showcase you an example. Why was this recovery taken, first execution taken in the place? What do we notice? Each and every movement had a buying position allocation. So 3 wing setup works here. Okay, liquidity video you're talking about, that is a volume indication of iceberg. Circulating supply, that is, not circulating volume. Right? Great, Santosh. Circulating supplies. You will have the video Sunday you will have the video on circulating supplies. Okay. Jason. Beautiful, guys. Good morning, Patel. जितने भी लोगों का लॉन्ग ट्रेड चल रहा है 130 पिप्स रनिंग। ब्रेक ऑफ स्ट्रक्चर के बारे में बताने वाले थे यार भरत, डेफिनेटली। मैं क्या बोला हूँ, स्ट्रीम खत्म होने से पहले बताऊंगा, बताऊंगा जरूर। अभी स्ट्रीम खत्म होने में 1 घंटा है और मेरे को सिर्फ 10 मिनट चाहिए बीओएस समझाने में। Apple V-shaped formation with buying pressure. Yes. Today I can proudly say that after cross-verifying with more than 250 live streaming, this is the only stream who generates revenue of more than 200 pips on a daily basis. वर्षा डिलीट करो मैसेज को। संतोष का मैसेज क्यों डिलीट किया? उसने क्या पाप किया था? सॉरी संतोष, बाय मिस्टेकली हो गया उनके हाथ से। एप्पल वी शेक रिकवरी बोले थे ना, लेट्स चेक एप्पल। Not yet. Not yet, sir. Yet. वरुण अगली बार ऐसा मैसेज डाला ना, देखते रहो, सच में मैं तेरे को ब्लॉक कर दूंगा. सीखने में फोकस करो यार, प्लीज. एप्पल explains it's in halfway back. Not today, man, Santosh. इवनिंग सेशन में करता. All the new members, welcome to the stream. Old members, जो भी डाउट है बैक टेस्टिंग फॉरवर्ड टेस्टिंग में नोट्स बनाओ उसके बारे में, प्लीज. That will help you out to grow and understand better. Sir, have you read the book by Dr. Julius Smith, Open Myth? Yes, I've read it. परसों ही कंप्लीट किया. से सोल्ड आउट बुक भी आपके पास है. यस. एट फर्स्ट प्लेस अंजलि, बुक्स कभी सोल्ड आउट नहीं होते. You should just have the right sources. Sir, I have a question. Sir, when we measure the supply and demand on 15-minute chart, and at 150% if the body closes below that, then that will be next step as yesterday's gold on 15 minutes time frame at 3059 point. 202. That 150% is because of minimality. Adjustment, right? अगर नोटिस करोगे, सॉरी 1 आवर में 15 मिनट्स में आएंगे, राइट? ये 150% का रिजेक्शन क्यों लिया? वी हैड ए मिनिमलिटी इन द जोन, right? Because of the minimality, we took into the plan of action of 150% rejection. If there is no minimality, first targets are always at 100%, second targets are always at 150%. So circulating supply, we will talk about minimality in the Sunday's video. Okay. I have one question on execution. If in higher time frame, 1 hour or 4 hours, if S2 setup is formed, then on 15 minutes, when it will be executed, do we need to confirm anything on 15 minutes? When you are not a swing trader, you don't have to look for an execution of 4 hours. 15 minutes, whatever setup you get, you execute in that. The setup of 1 hour and 4 hours is looked only for the swing traders who are looking to execute the trade for more than 2 to 3 days plus. Same day closures are always taken under the consideration of 15 minutes. No topics will be uploaded of Indian markets. We'll be uploading the video of minimality. Back to back दो वीडियो आ गया इंडियन के ऊपर. Yeah, definitely there is one promise which I have made on live stock selections. So live stock selections के बारे में Wednesday के दिन आ जाएगा आपको वीडियो. Okay, sir, eagerly waiting. पटेल वो शॉर्ट वाला ट्रेड कितने में चल रहा है तुम्हारा? स्विंग ट्रेडिंग में एक होल्ड करके बैठे हो ना सिंगल लॉट के साथ? वर्षा, संतोष का एप्पल के बारे में एक बार रिमाइंडर दे देना शाम को। हाउ बिग इज योर ट्रेडिंग सेटअप? क्यों जानना है? सर इट वाज लास्ट डेज एक्सपायरी पे वो गया ग्रीन में क्लोज हुआ। ग्रेट। आपको स्विंग करना था तो वीकली वीकली एक्सपायरी क्यों सिलेक्ट करते हो? गलत है ना? एनीवेज, गुड that you hold it at least for 3 days. Feeling good key, I hold it for almost 2 days. Yes, I made mistake on that. No worries. Next time याद रखना, जब भी swing trade लेते हो, not the same week expiry, almost हर एक मंथ में स्टार्टिंग में जब लेते हो तो 2 एक्सपायरीज में स्विंग होती है, एक हाफ मंथ में, एक फुल मंथ में। कल सुबह 10:10 को एग्जिट। ग्रेट। What are the criteria to be considered for swing execution? हर एक साइडवेज जोन, हर एक पीओआई जोन में डरना नहीं होगा। That is the only criteria. Fearless execution and calm setting till the targets. हर एक मूवमेंट में फोमो नहीं होना है मेजरली। क्या फोड़ा सर आपने? किसी ने मेरे सिस्टम के ऊपर आग डाल दी तो एक सिस्टम गिर गया। मजाक कर रहा हूँ। वो ग्लास का बॉटल था, वो ग्लास का बॉटल नीचे गिर के फूट गया। That means अपशकुन है। क्या अपशकुन का मीनिंग क्या है वो तो बताओ। It's not good for you. I don't believe in that things. So yeah, that's totally fine. Okay. Thank you so much. But yeah, I don't believe in that at all. I believe in only two things. One is karma, and other one is working hard as possible as yesterday, more than ever. आपको तो हम बदल नहीं सकते। मैंने पूछा भी नहीं बदलो। Beautiful guys, TP3 also almost hit. सर कैमरा चालू करो, एक बार देखना है आपको बहुत दिन से। About Nifty targets, when we come to know about it after analysis, which strike price expiry should be taken. For the swing, expiry will be the second week and the last week. If your trading capital is of 1 lakh rupees, 3 trades will be placed in a go. One in the money, one at the money, one deep in the money. Sorry, deep out of the money. Here, deep out of the money will be near the mathematical targets. This 1 lakh is taken as an example of explanation. That's it. How to identify the break of structure and how do you look into the perspective of to the previous? What are the major things that you guys have to look at the break of structure analysis? Just for an example, if you know the movement is coming down to the action point, the first point of action at this current scenario, the break of structure acts in this zone, correct? When the break of structure acts at this zone, the first point of interest will be always the body range. The body range will act as the point of interest one. With the point of interest one, the allocation will be taken care in perspective of to the previous, right? Once you see a break of structure, what we'll be doing, we have a break of structure over here, then we will consider the movement from the wick and allocation, right? So these are the perspectives that you have to look when there is a market break. So just in scenario of the same, if we notice over here, what do we see? At the first point of interest, we didn't had a break of interest, correct? So the break of structure was not built over here. With this plan of action, market may sirf body range allocate over. So when we allocated the body range, what was the supply taken under the consideration? The supply will be taken under the consideration of the previous. Demand converted into support. So with the demand converted into support, this is my red candle, which will act as my current, right? In this point of action, the wick is not taken under the consideration because we don't have a break, right? Once the break will have here and the continuity, then we will look for the wick. But in scenario, we didn't had that structure, so the first point of interest will be from the body. From the body, we had a 100% closure. With the 100% closure, what is the first step? As we don't have a break of structure, the break of structure will act at this point of interest. Till that point, what we'll be working on? We'll be working on to the previous. Allocation will be taken from the body only. With the body allocation, the analysis will be of 100%. Okay, with the 100% point of interest, what is the zone of conduct that we'll be looking over here? The change in structure plans will be taken under the consideration of to the previous. Now we have a break of structure. Yes, we have a break of structure. So what we'll be doing, we'll be taking it with the wick. So when we take with the wick, what is the next plan of action that will act over here? With the wick action plan to the body. Okay. So with the wick action plan towards the body, what is the next movement that we'll be looking for? The break and continue. When there is break and continue, look for the next. In this next perspective, what are the major thing that we are having? 150% rejection. Okay. Hope everyone got the point of how to look into the structures of break of structure. आपको हिंदी में भी समझाते हैं, no worries. अभी इस सिनेरियो में मेजरली क्या देखेंगे? क्या हमारे पास ब्रेक ऑफ स्ट्रक्चर है? नहीं है. तो at this point, मेरा क्या होगा, पहला बॉडी का कैलकुलेशन होगी, करेक्ट। सो सिर्फ बॉडी का कैलकुलेशन लेंगे एट द करंट स्टेट ऑफ एक्शंस, जब तक ब्रेक ऑफ स्ट्रक्चर जनरेट नहीं होगा। तो अभी इस सिनेरियो में मेरा ये बॉडी है, मार्केट में रिट्रेसमेंट आया कंटिन्यूटी के साथ, राइट। कंटिन्यूटी के साथ जब रिट्रेसमेंट आया, मैं अलोकेशन कितना देखूंगा फर्स्ट पॉइंट में। मैं मेरा फर्स्ट पॉइंट ऑफ अलोकेशन हमेशा बॉडी से होगी। विद द बॉडी अलोकेशन ब्रेक ऑफ स्ट्रक्चर कहाँ पे दिखने को मिली मेरे को, इस पॉइंट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट में। जब इस पॉइंट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट में मेरे को अलोकेशन दिखने को मिली, तब जाके मैं पूरा विक से लूंगा टिल द बॉडी। एंड अलोकेशन कहाँ से करूंगा, यहाँ पे भी विक से ही अलोकेट करूंगा। ओके, ये प्लान ऑफ एक्शन होना चाहिए। सेम सिनेरियो यहाँ पे, मार्केट में क्या किया, मार्केट में एक बिल्ड आई, करेक्ट, इस पॉइंट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट में। ये बिल्ड प्लान ऑफ एक्शन में कब आएगा, जब हमारे पास ब्रेक ऑफ स्ट्रक्चर होगा। क्या हमारे पास यहाँ पे ब्रेक ऑफ स्ट्रक्चर है, नहीं है। सो जब तक ब्रेक ऑफ स्ट्रक्चर नहीं होता है, हमें फर्स्ट चीज क्या नोटिस करनी होगी, हमें फर्स्ट चीज ये नोटिस करनी होगी कि हमारा बॉडी रेंज कितना है। इन दिस बॉडी रेंज मेरे को क्या दिखने को मिल रहा है, यहाँ पे मेरे को एक मूवमेंट प्लान ऑफ एक्शन देखने को मिल रही है, जो कि ये वाला डिमांड जोन है, राइट। इस वाला डिमांड जोन में क्या मेरे पास यहाँ पे रिट्रेस होके कंटिन्यूटी में मार्केट ऊपर गया है, नहीं गया है, करेक्ट। सो अभी इस पॉइंट ऑफ एक्शन में मैं क्या करूंगा, मेरा जो एक्शन प्लान है यहाँ पे बॉडी से लूंगा, अलोकेशन के लिए देखूंगा। 100% रिजेक्शन लिया, फर्स्ट टारगेट कितना होगा, जितना मेरा बॉडी है, करेक्ट। सो बॉडी का प्लान ऑफ एक्शन बॉडी के साथ ही देखेंगे, राइट। सो जैसे ही बॉडी का प्लान ऑफ एक्शन के साथ मूवमेंट अलोकेट हुआ, व्हाट डू वी नोटिस, वी हैव अ रिजेक्शन, राइट। सो जैसे ही रिजेक्शन अलोकेट हुआ, नेक्स्ट स्टेप क्या होगी हमारी इस पॉइंट में, नेक्स्ट स्टेप हमारा होगा ब्रेक। जैसे ही ब्रेक होता है, मेरा फुल अलोकेशन पॉइंट विक से लेंगे टिल द बॉटम। जैसे ही वो पॉइंट अलोकेशन में देखेंगे, क्या होगा, द रीअलोकेशन स्ट्रक्चर बिल्ड होगी। हम यहाँ पे विक से रीअलोकेट करेंगे। क्या देख रहे हैं हम यहाँ पे, एक मिनिमलिटी जोन ऑफ एक्शन क्रिएट होते हुए दिखा है। विद द मिनिमलिटी जोन ऑफ एक्शन क्रिएशन, फर्स्ट एक्शन प्लान ऑफ सिनेरियो वन विल बी 150%, राइट। सो मिनिमलिटी के साथ हमारा फर्स्ट टारगेट ये होगा, राइट। सो विद द फर्स्ट टारगेट एक्शन प्लान हमारा टारगेट हिट हुआ है, बट द कंटिन्यूटी में। अगर अब इस सिनेरियो में देखेंगे, सो फर्स्ट प्लान ऑफ एक्शन क्या होगी मेरी, यहाँ पे ब्रेक ऑफ स्ट्रक्चर है, राइट। ब्रेक ऑफ स्ट्रक्चर होने से पहले जब तक नहीं होता है, मेरा प्लान ऑफ एक्शन क्या होगा, सिर्फ बॉडी होगी, करेक्ट। सो बॉडी का एक्शन प्लान मेरा फर्स्ट स्टेप ऑफ एक्शन होगा। सो इन दिस सिनेरियो ये मेरा प्लान ऑफ एक्शन था, ऑफ टू द प्रीवियस। जैसे ही ब्रेक ऑफ स्ट्रक्चर मिला, मैं यहाँ पे क्या करूंगा, पूरा विक से अलोकेट करूंगा टिल द बॉटम, राइट। सो जैसे मैं ये अलोकेशन पॉइंट देखूंगा, क्या हुआ मार्केट यहाँ पे, मार्केट कंटिन्यूटी में ब्रेक थ्रू दी, करेक्ट। विद द ब्रेक थ्रू व्हाट डू वी नोटिस, कंटिन्यूटी थी, कंटिन्यूटी में 200% एंड 150% मार्किंग। So in this scenario, my 200% at the current state will be which? Sorry, 150% कौन सा होगा? ये वाला zone of action. ठीक है। चलते चलते हंसते हंसते टारगेट हिट हो चुकी है, with proper good running of 150 pips. थर्ड कैंडल एग्जीक्यूशन थी ट्रेड। अभी थोड़ा बाकी है, ये कंप्लीट होता है तो 180 होगा, 3 मोर पिप्स आ जाएगा। MTSL सबका 120 में रख लो, सिस्टम ट्रेलिंग 100 पिप्स में रख लो। सर कल का लॉन्ग ट्रेड समझाओ प्लीज। इंस्टाग्राम में जाके देखो, देयर इज अ वीडियो कॉल्ड एज हाउ टू एग्जीक्यूट द ट्रेड्स इन वी शेप रिकवरी। इंस्टाग्राम पे भी मत जाओ, यूट्यूब में ही है, राइट। सो यूट्यूब में ही देख लेना, आज का अपलोडेड वीडियो है वो, राइट। हमेशा याद रखना, जब भी मूवमेंट बाइंग प्रेशर के साथ नीचे के लिए आ रही है, एक पॉइंट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट में जाके क्लोजर देगा, उसके साथ विक प्रेशर बाइंग के तरफ ज्यादा दिखने को मिलेगी। सो उसके साथ थर्ड कैंडल में एग्जीक्यूशन होगा, राइट। सेम सिनेरियो के हिसाब से हमने रेड कैंडल क्लोजर देखा था विक प्रेशर के साथ, सेकेंड कैंडल विद द विक प्रेशर, थर्ड कैंडल एग्जीक्यूशन। ओके, so with that, full recovery point of action which was till 31-32. Where do we have a CS? CS is getting built here. No, this is the CS. CS should be always in the parallel channel. There should be an allocation of 1 is to 10 risk of retailers. When there is 1 is to 10 of risk of SL allocations, then only we will look for a CS, actual theory, not prior to that. No, I will not be showing that example. First, become 100% perfect in one thing what you guys are doing. Then jump to the next. आधा अधूरा नॉलेज सबका लेके मिक्स करके ट्रेड करोगे, अकाउंट ब्लो होता है, ग्रो नहीं. Guys, go step by step यार. You guys will not make it in a go. समझा करो. If you're that sure that you can make it in a go, show me a proof that you can make it in a go, then I'll explain in a go. Whatever I am using, I'll explain in a go. Show me the proof that you guys are understanding and applying it in a right way. You guys want everything in a go, that won't happen in the markets. There is a rule to be followed. Always remember, everyone. Is your allocation of supply and demand right, Samar? You're doing it 90% plus, allocating without seeing live markets allocations is perfect of yours. Volume understanding is 90% plus. Your mathematical precision is more than 98% of accuracy. Then get perfect in that. Then next, you're not doing back testing, you're not doing forward relay bar testing, you're not done a live analysis. Complete the step procedures. Definitely you're executing trade. I am happy that you have started executing the trades. But why are you breaking the rule is my point. Look for an execution with the proper risk to reward, guys. Make sure that you follow the rules and be in the directions of the mat. Fearless trading is very much important in the markets by following the right risk to reward. With the right risk to reward, make sure you trade emotionlessly with emotionlessly. Be in the directions of the mathematical number. जीतने से खुशी मनाना, हारने से दुखी हो जाना is not the quality of the trader. Carry the poker face in the directions of the math. With this, make sure no impatience-full trade, no running candle executions will be taken in the market. Sit calmly till the targets are hit. All the new members do the back testing with the back testing, forward testing with the live relay chart relay, and then 1 month of live execution, then small trade execution to gain the confidence. With the gaining of confidence, come with the real money to execute with proper risk to reward ratios. This is Nitesh signing off. मिलते हैं शाम में, तब तक के लिए टेक केयर, बाय बाय.